couple excitedly moves in together, but get more than what they bargained, for when strange things start happening around the house. Oh, and before you start wondering, yes, this is a Paranormal Activity parody, and that's why today in Flick Summary, a haunted house. The film opens with Malcolm, a lighthearted, naive but well-intentioned man that has invited his girlfriend, Keisha, to move in. He explains his hopes and expectations from having Keisha living in his place and eagerly says that this will be the best thing that will happen to them. Along with his dog named Shiloh and his girlfriend moving in, he will finally have everything he ever wanted. A few minutes later, Keisha pulls up in the driveway and doesn't see that Shiloh has escaped the house and accidentally runs her over, instantly killing her. Well, we're off to a horrendous start, aren't we? Malcolm is devastated and does everything in his power to save her, but it's already too late. Shiloh is gone. Though Malcolm cried his eyes out for quite a little bit there, he managed to recompose himself that very same day without much trouble, continuing on as if nothing ever happened. Malcolm helps Keisha unpack her stuff as he jokes around and is as happy as he's ever been. That is until he finds something rather delicate among Keisha's possessions. What did he find, you may wonder? Well, none other than her dad's ashes.
Are these your daddy's ashes?
Yes, Malcolm, they go where I go.
We're gonna have his ghost watching over us? That's comforting.
Well, that's just lovely, isn't it? Anyway, Malcolm doesn't get too much of a say over what she gets to keep and what she's leaving behind, and since it's her dad, I'm guessing this is a non-negotiable.
Sir, yes, sir!
On their first night together, Malcolm is more than excited about making love to his girlfriend as she heads to the bathroom to change into something a little more comfortable. However, when she steps out, our boy Malcolm gets his hopes deflated when she shows up completely ready for bed with her skincare routine set up and everything, much to our man's disappointment.
Not everybody goes to bed looking like a supermodel,
Apparently
all right?
not.
I guess I kind of do feel for him. Anyway, once they are sound asleep, Malcolm gets constantly awakened from Keisha's, well, no easy way to say this, farting. Not only is it insanely loud, but also disturbingly disgusting, leading Malcolm to find some spray to at least mitigate the smell a bit.
That's rough, buddy.
Poor guy. The next morning, Keisha acts as if nothing had happened, but tells Malcolm that she believes that there's a ghost in their home. Of course, our leading man decides to joke around and tell her that the ghost is just all the farting that went on last night and dismisses her, which of course upsets her even further.
You don't listen, do you?
Thankfully though, he decides to bring in some security guys to set some cameras in the house so they can monitor all the activity that goes on while they're not watching. Sound familiar? Once they're done installing the cameras, Malcolm and Keisha decide to have a couple of friends over as they discuss their new lives together as a couple. But as you can imagine, Malcolm isn't too thrilled about how things are going so far.
Keisha moved in? Yeah. I haven't seen no parts of the vagina.
No!
It's like she moved in and her vagina moved out the same day.
Things get a little weirder when the couple's friends suggest to swap couples, but get sent away after getting a little too intense about it. Phew.
Oh, thank God.
Just as their friends leave, Malcolm and Keisha finally get it on, and seeing as he has all those cameras in his house, let's just say that Malcolm is excited about recording it.
You dirty boy.
However, Keisha doesn't reciprocate the excitement and asks him to turn it off, which he doesn't do, and records the entire event that lasted 2 whole minutes. Wow, that's almost an entire song, what a champ. The following morning, Keisha finds that her boyfriend recorded the event and is obviously upset, but her disappointment quickly turns to fright when she notices that the door moved out of a complete nowhere.
That's it, I'm out of here.
She tells Malcolm of this information, but he insists that it was all the movements he was doing while, pleasing her. The next night, as the couple are soundly sleeping, some rather intense noises woke them, followed by violent rustles and the bed harshly moving, which scares Malcolm to no end. I mean, I'd be scared too, but at least make sure that your girlfriend is safe, no?
You're a coward, you know that?
Now, fully aware that the happenings in the house are more than just strange, they decide to bring in a psychic that might explain what exactly is going on. However, the psychic is a little too lost in Malcolm's eyes to actually get his work done and starts making all sorts of moves trying to get his attention.
Well, this is getting weird.
Before Malcolm kicks the psychic out for being a little too weird, Keisha makes a little confession that might explain the reason as to why this is happening to them, and it's not relieving.
Did I mention that I made a deal with the devil for a pair of really cool Louboutins?
You made a deal with the devil for a pair of shoes?
Well, how exciting is that? Malcolm is obviously upset and scared as he scolds Keisha for not telling him about her little deal with the devil before she moved in. Rightfully so, man. What kind of a bad juju is that? All that for a pair of shoes? No way. Once again, night rolls around and Keisha has woken up only to stare at Malcolm and dance? She then basically destroys the fridge and acts completely out of it, which is apparently hilarious to Malcolm.
That's not funny.
As morning rolls around, our boy's rewatching the videos from last night occurrences and laughs as he watches his girlfriend act possessed, which is reason for concern, my guy. Of course, Keisha can't remember any of it. Later on, Malcolm gets upset at her girlfriend for bringing in a ghost in the house, leaving her for the night as he blames her for everything.
So what, now you're referring to my moving in as a bad situation?
Well, I didn't have a demon in my house till you moved in.
Once he returns home, let's just say that Malcolm is a little drunk and not himself. Upset and out of it, our dumb boy decides to break the vase where her dad's ashes are. As if that weren't enough, he even poops on them as he angrily shouts at the ashes.
Are you stupid or something?
Well, brace yourself for the mess you've gotten yourself into, my man. The next day, Keisha finds the ashes and the poop scattered all over the floor, as she immediately assumes it was all about the ghost as Malcolm plays along with it. She then rushes over to the computer to watch the video from last night and realizes that it wasn't a ghost at all, but a drunken Malcolm that has broken and pooped all over her father's ashes. Okay, so I know the couple has more than enough reasons to break up, but this is like a whole new level, right? Yeah, but they still don't break up, and she even manages to forgive him. Silly girl. That same night, the noises are louder than ever, and the couple decide to confront the ghost head on, bringing a bat along with them. As they vigorously beat it up, they come to realize that it's not a ghost at all, but it's actually Rosa, the couple's housekeeper. If it isn't obvious, she immediately quit her job. Now that they've been through yet another scare, the couple partakes in a little smoking to take the edge off. Some fun smoking, if it wasn't clear enough. Of course, the ghost had to get some of that, and, well, this happens. Yeah, I'd be out of there immediately. That same night, the ghost drags Malcolm out of the room, and we'll explain this in just a bit. You see, the next day Keisha is happy and bubbly and telling Malcolm how happy she is about the sex they had the previous night. He then explains that they didn't do any of that and that he actually woke up in a different room. They resort to watching the tape of the previous night and find that the ghost has had his way with Keisha.
That's it, I'm out of here.
And she apparently enjoyed it. Malcolm is upset over this and starts giving his girlfriend the cold shoulder, but she dissuades when she tells them that she's the real victim. Which, I mean, she's not wrong. We then get a visit from Malcolm's cousin, Ray Ray, who is a thug, apparently. The couple tells him that Keisha has had an unwanted visitor of the night and has been a victim of things we can't say in this channel. Ray Ray is livid but is unaware that the unwanted visitor is actually a ghost. When they're finally able to tell him that it's not a person but an entity, Ray Ray is immediately scared and notices that the room's furniture is gone.
What happened to your furniture, cuz?
As expected, he instantly runs off without a second thought.
I don't think I can stomach any more of this garbage.
Night rolls around, and Keisha is a little excited about the prospect of getting a visit from his ghost friend. Seeing that he hasn't even showed up, she leaves the room. Just as she leaves, the entity then decides to have its fun with Malcolm, which he doesn't enjoy at all. Poor guy. Seeing as nothing can keep the ghost away, they try to ignore him in hopes of getting him to leave. This proved not to be the greatest idea, seeing that apparently ghosts don't like getting ignored, and is now taking his anger out on Keisha, while Malcolm is blissfully unaware of the whole ordeal. Sometime later, Malcolm finally notices that there's something off with Keisha, and it appears as if the ghost has possessed her, as she shows extremely erratic and terrifying behaviors, such as walking the dog she killed at the beginning of the movie.
Well, this is getting weird.
Malcolm decides to bring in a priest, Father Duck, to check in on Keisha, but once he sees her, he suggests he gets a brand new girlfriend, as his current one doesn't look all too right. Gee, thanks, I'm sure he didn't notice that.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Father Duck doesn't do much of an attempt to exorcise her, and just has a bit of a pointless talk with her. Well, that wasn't a waste of time. Realizing that Keisha is too far gone for the priest to do anything on his own, Malcolm and Father Duck call some backup and bring in the security guys that installed the cameras and the psychic that has a crush on Malcolm. Once they're all finally there, they get together around the table and discuss the situation we have at hand.
Gentlemen, what we have here is a crazy bitch.
They finally get ready to face the demon head on, but Father Duck isn't being all that helpful to the situation and just starts citing random quotes.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you.
Keisha runs away from the exorcism and the group starts chasing her. In a panic, Father Duck shoots Rosa, the ex-housekeeper, who only wanted to pick up her last check.
May she rest in peace.
Later, the team finally finds Keisha as she starts doing all sorts of possessed antiques and senseless mumbles. Our possessed lady heads to the basement where the whole squad starts attacking her in hopes of defeating the demon. As it turns out, it appears as though the demon has finally left her body and things go back to normal. On the night after the exorcism, the couple fools around for quite a little bit and eventually fall asleep. But of course, the demon isn't really gone as Keisha wakes up in the middle of the night just to stare at Malcolm. As soon as he wakes up, Keisha kicks him and gives one last look at the camera to give us one final spook.
Oh, gee, thanks, Dave.
All those exorcisms for nothing, huh? Kinda sucks. And that's all for today. Make sure to stay tuned, as we'll be doing a Haunted House 2 very soon. For now, let us know in the comments what you thought of this movie, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. See you next time!